people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all is well, and I hope your guitar journeys are going famously. Welcome to our continuing series on lead guitar and improvisation, where we're playing over a jam track in the key of C minor. And this is a multi-part lesson, and in the previous parts I talked about things like the scales that you could use when playing over this. We've been over natural minor scale, expanded blues, expanded minor pentatonic scales. We talked about different blues scales and licks, and so getting into some arpeggios now, and devices and techniques that you could use. Assimilate them, make them your own, have fun with them, and toss them into your playing and practice them over jam tracks, and just kind of put a track on and get lost in it, right? And have fun. That's what it's all about, having fun on the guitar. And in this lesson, I'm going to show you, build off of what we learned in the last lesson. I showed you a kind of guitar architecture framework to where you can start to look at, like we went over a minor triad, a minor arpeggio, and how to connect it to our natural minor scale or our minor pentatonic and blues scale. So you could start to see all the opportunities as the fretboard expands horizontally, right? And we're not just looking at it in these, boxes, but we're looking at it across the whole neck, kind of as one big scale, one big opportunity with different modes and scales and arpeggios all in there that we could just grab and toss around and make beautiful music with and have a lot of fun with, right? I'm excited about these lessons. These are a lot of fun for me, and I love the sounds of arpeggios, how they space out the notes, and I love finding different little things to add on them and different twists and different ways to play them, and guys who do that really, really well. Listen to, Joe Satriani or Marty Friedman, Steve Vai. I mean, they do the most interesting things by taking the notes of these arpeggios. And arpeggio, if you haven't watched any of the other lessons or you're not sure, it's just the notes of a chord played separately. And they do interesting musical things with them, because, we want to get out of just playing, minor thirds up and down the, minor triads up and down the neck, or just, just playing the same set of 3 or 4 notes, because that after a while it might get a little tired sounding. Not the most interesting musically. We want to do musically interesting things with the notes, embellish them, use bends, go into other licks, hammer, pull, mix together, our arpeggios and scale notes and licks. And that's what good arpeggio playing really does. It mixes the arpeggio in with our techniques and our devices and our scale notes and whatnot. But hey, if you'd like a free video lesson that's not on YouTube and a coinciding ebook, click on the link in the YouTube description box below. Follow the screens, and I will send you a killer ebook that has a lot of the scales we're talking about today diagrammed out, chord charts, all kinds of lessons. It's an awesome resource, really cool ebook. I'll send you that and a video lesson, all for free. Just click on that link, and we'll send it to you from Next Level Guitar. Right, so we're going to be in the key of C minor for this series of lessons, and the jam track we're going to be using is just a simple 4-chord change. It's just a C minor to a flat major, to a B flat major, and then back to C minor. And then it starts over again in the key of C minor, melodic. So the first thing I always try to do is establish, well, what kind of sounds do I want to create over this? What kind of mood? And in this lesson, let's shoot for some bluesy, rock kind of, licks. Some of the things you could try over this are like C minor pentatonic scale, C minor pentatonic and blues scales. Also, C natural minor, also called C Aeolian mode, will sound great, and I use that a lot in the intro. Let's take a look at those scales up close. So one of the scales you could use over this would be the expanded minor pentatonic and blues scale. You could find it by 3rd finger on the low root note in any key, in this instance C, so this right here is the 8th fret. So we'll start it on the 6th fret of the low E string. It'll look like this. I'll play it nice and slow for you. Another scale that we'll use in these lessons is the C natural minor scale, also called C Aeolian mode. There's one particular shape that I like off the low E string, 8th fret. It looks like this. And there's another shape that you could use also down here on the, this is the 3rd fret on the C note. Looks like this. Okay, so So we're in the key of C minor. You know the chords, you know the scales that we're using. Last lesson we were working on this, which is our C minor arpeggio. We're playing that in the key of C because our pinky is on that 15th fret. That's how we know where this arpeggio is. Root A string. Let me show you a couple things I like to do with this arpeggio. Now, in the last lesson, we were taking the arpeggio and we were getting in and out of it by learning how to connect it to our natural minor scale, letting our first finger guide us, because when we're playing that arpeggio on the top 2 strings, our first finger is on that flat third, is on that 11th fret, right into our natural minor scale, or into our minor pentatonic and blues scale. And we were getting all fun ways to slide around and connect on 1 or 2 strings, but connecting the arpeggio into our scale. Let's start dressing up that arpeggio and adding a few things to it to make it sound a little bit more musical. An easy thing that I love doing is I love adding the 9th note to a scale or to an arpeggio. The 9th or 2nd is a very kind of adds a lot of drama, I find, that note, right? And we're in the key of C. Our 9th or 2nd would be the D. So if we take this arpeggio, see already how it sounds a whole nother flavor. We make it a minor 9 by adding that D note. So what I'm doing is I'm sliding from the C, B string, 13th fret, to the 15th fret, and it adds that 9. It gives it a whole new flavor. And then back into our natural minor scale. See how that 9th adds a lot of drama. Now another note that I like adding up top on the arpeggio is I like adding the flat 6, which in this instance would be a G sharp. Doesn't that sound cool? And all I'm doing is I'm just going from the 15th to the 16th fret on the high E string, adding... Remember, everything I show you can be transposed to any key because this is the shape for it, and all those intervals will be in the same spot, depending on, again, you know, just follow that root note on the pinky finger. So slide it, or play the note. Right, so now the arpeggio is taking on some new twists. That time I added the 9th and the flat 6. That time I added the 9th, the flat 6, and I slided back into the natural minor scale as per the last lesson. So there's 2 things you could do really easy with that same position that we learned of our minor triad or minor arpeggio. You could also very easily make that a minor 7 arpeggio by adding a B flat note, which we could catch on the 15th fret of the G string. Now we're starting to get into a lot of notes and it's sounding more scalar than arpeggio, but maybe you would only add 1 or 2 notes at a time and not all 3, because we don't want it to sound too much like a scale. It kind of would defeat the purpose of playing the arpeggio. Add our flat 7 by adding our pinky on that B flat note. In the key of C, our flat 7 is the B flat. So you have the root, flat 3rd, 5th, flat 7. That's kind of a cool sound. So if I take that arpeggio again, right, there's our B flat note, our minor 7. There's our 9, our D, and there's our flat 6, our G sharp. And what I just did there was I didn't play the 9th on the way down, but I played it on the way up, but I played it on the way down. So you could do all kinds of cool things by just taking those notes, mixing them up, right? Playing them in different orders, or playing like I did that little repeated lick. right? To kind of build some melody, and then go back to your root note or your flat third, but then throw in the 9 or throw in that flat 6, right? And it's really a great way to build melody and to really take these arpeggios and bring them to life. And add them in with some of the licks that we've done in previous lessons, right? All of it based off of root, flat third, fifth, root, flat third, fifth. So much you could do. It's endless, right? So give that a whirl. Mess around with the arpeggio. Put the track on. Just play the arpeggio. Start adding those notes. Try to come up with a little repeated thing. Add the flat 7, add the 9th, take away the flat 6, try to mix them up and put them in the soup and you get gumbo or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of get lost in it and have fun. And be sure to check out the other parts of this. Remember our architecture where we're expanding the fretboard horizontally, where we're, you know, using natural minor scales in conjunction with arpeggios, in conjunction with minor pentatonic and blues over this simple jam track. It's a lot of fun. And I get a lot of questions about gear. And so I thought I would tell you what I'm playing through today is I'm playing through a USA-made Paul Reed Smith 513 guitar. It has all single coils. And basically, I would believe I was playing through most of the lesson. I'm either playing through the back 1 or 2 coils, which you can actually kind of make like a humbucker, get that sound. And then I was playing also through the neck pickup all the way up front. And as far as gear, I'm just plugged straight into the front of a Matchless Independence 3-channel amp that's off camera. And I'm just running through channel 3, which is the higher gain channel. And I'm just using the amp distortion and a little reverb. So you could hear that reverb, but that's it. Basically no effects. I'm just running straight into the amp. Real simple setup today. And the back pickup. Get that kind of you know, like a humbucker, more screaming lead, as opposed to the neck pickup up front gives you a little bit more of that kind of throaty, more traditional kind of single coil sound. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Taub, co-creator of Next Level Guitar. Be sure and click in that YouTube description box and get your free video lesson and coinciding ebook. It's awesome. And then also I'll send you some jam tracks too, and some other stuff for free. So be sure and click on that link and you get the ebook, which is awesome. Subscribe to our YouTube videos. We'll let you know when we have more stuff coming out, right? Always fun doing some stuff here on YouTube. And if you get a chance, go to our website, nextlevelguitar.com. It's a full-on structured guitar curriculum, an insane amount of lessons, like over 1,500 and growing because we add new material all the time. All genres of music, beginner, intermediate, advanced, acoustic, electric, lead, rhythm, we got everything on there. It's awesome. Check it out. There's a 3-day free pass right on the homepage, so you can give the site a test drive. You might really like it. It might be just what you're looking for. I think you'll like it. Okay, so be sure to tune in for the next part. Take care and keep on rocking.